had a very interesting shift, like really recently, like between this podcast and the last one. It happened, I think, maybe a week or two, right before Christmas. And I got high. I smoked a little pot, and I really mostly don't enjoy doing it anymore. I pretty much am sold that I want to be done with it. And that may very well be the last time I ever smoke it. I think it is. But I've said that to myself a number of times. But I really feel pretty solid on this. Because I think it facilitated this shift here, where even though 5 years ago I had this awakening where like I'm open to this concept of God and starting to understand the power of belief and the power of stories and this kind of thing, the thing that I suddenly like honestly assessed and became aware of is all that has changed is that I think it would be a good idea to believe in God. I believe there is utility to believing in God and buying into an organized religion. I believe there is utility, or I think that there is utility to this. But what I realized is I don't think I actually believe in God. And that's a significant thing to be aware of, because while I was in this high, I've started having, one of the reasons I want to stop getting high is because I usually end up in some version of a panic attack. And as I was sitting there in this, I was like, why is this fucking happening? And I was standing in the mirror, like getting the shower going, get ready to get in hot water, because sometimes that relaxes me. And I was sitting there, and that's when I had that thought. I was like, I don't actually believe. And I think that's why I'm having this panic attack, because, and I just like tried to imagine to whatever degree I can imagine, like, how would I feel right now if I actually believed? And if I believed that there is this higher power looking after me that has my back, and that death actually isn't even bad, because even in death, he has me. And I felt this relief of anxiety wash over me. Like, even though I wouldn't say, oh, I suddenly believe in him now, I at least was able to humor what it would feel like. And I was like, I understand. If I can, now it's recognizing that I historically have not, and that I most probably don't. I now understand I should, and that I want to. That I think is the significant shift. The best way to describe it. And another thing too, and I think this was facilitated too by taking in this information. I've been reading a lot of Ian McGilchrist's work. I don't know if do you know who that is? So he is he's a British fella, and he wrote this book called The Master's Emissary, and it's about the left and right hemispheres of the brain. And it's basically about pulling apart a lot of our conventional understanding that we've probably taught in a lot of our science classes about the differences between the brain hemispheres, because they've really watered it down and oversimplified it, where really the nature of it is the title of that book, The Master and His Emissary, points to the proper evolutionary relationship of the two hemispheres. The right brain is supposed to be the master, and the left brain is supposed to be its servant. Everything the left brain does is supposed to be in service and within the context of the right brain's understanding of the world. The left brain is the more analytical and objective reality concerned brain. It's more about manipulating the material world, getting tasks done, and being able to box things in, put them into words, having a bow wrapped on your concepts and your thinking. It sees division. It sees people as separate, and can divide the world up into things. And the right brain is a more open and like interconnectedness, understands the world, like understands the true nature of reality, understands that things can't be put into box, and that it is all one, and that there is no separation between self and everything else. And the words he used in this one interview that I think I either took in during this little freak out awakening, I think either right after it or right before, but it really made sense in this context, is the left brain is the part of you that thinks it knows things. The right brain is the part of you that understands it knows nothing, and all there is belief. And so it was that really made me realize, like, oh, I don't believe in God. I just think it's a good idea to believe in God. Mm-hmm. And I think that to believe in God, to become fully, perpetually present, to be in a state of flow, and to surrender to God, all of these things are, I believe, if not somewhat, then entirely synonymous with allowing the right brain to assume its rightful position as the master, mm-hmm. and keep the left brain in context.